Dear learners, welcome to the third session on week 2 module of cloud computing for beginners. Hope everyone had a knowledge in the second session on virtual machine managers. In this third session, we are going to discuss about storage virtualization. It is nothing but sharing of physical storage into multiple storage devices, which further appears to be an single storage device. With this introduction, we can enter into third session. Thank you, learners. Learners, we can see about the next session of module 2, cloud computing for beginners. So this session is termed as storage virtualization in cloud. This session summarizes the concepts of what, why, and the importance of storage virtualization. And we are going to have a look about its architecture, types, and challenges. Learners, do you have any idea about what is virtualization? Can you have a thought of what it could be? So it is nothing but a process of representing physical storage in the logical form to any physical server. So in a very big term, it can be explained as in the IT world and almost in everything, it can be explained as simply virtualization. Whether it is server, SAN, memory, network, or storage, all things can be virtualized. These are all called to be as resources in the IT world. Something which is not physical is a virtual object which can't touch physically, but only have to be believed it is present in some logical boundaries. In simple terms, this storage virtualization is a process of representing physical storage in logical form of any server. Multiple physical disks are combined into a group, and from that group of physical disks, virtual storage or logical storage blocks are assigned to a server for use. Is called as simply storage virtualization. Examples of storage virtualization could be LUNs, that is logical unit number, logical volume LV, RAID groups, etc. Benefits of storage virtualization. Whenever talking about the benefits of storage virtualization, it is going to be highly scalable. It is going to allow some sort of addition and deletion of storage blocks without affecting any application. Easy data migration could be done. Storage management could be easier whenever we are going ahead with this storage virtualization. So this figure represents a common architecture of storage virtualization, otherwise simply a storage virtualization. In this figure, we are having servers, virtual volumes, virtualization layer, physical storage. There are two servers with virtual volumes. These virtual volumes may be mapped to different applications. Between actual and virtual volumes, there is a layer called as virtualization layer, which is going to be helpful for redirecting the I/O. Understanding the physical storage or hard disks, which are combined or grouped together with the help of virtualization software. These physical disks are divided into small blocks of data as per the requirements, which is presented to some remote servers as virtual disk. These virtual disks of data look as the physical disk to the server. Then this disk can be used to extend the file systems or to create a new one. I will repeat it again. You're going to have two servers with virtual volumes. Virtual volumes may be mapped to different applications. Between actual and virtual volume, there is virtualization layer. This layer is going to redirect the IOs. Physical storage are combined or grouped together to perform virtualization. These virtual blocks of data looks as the physical disks to the server. This disk can further extended to a new one. Do you have any idea about how we do storage virtualization and why it is implemented in the virtualized environment? Learners, could you think about it? How do we and why it is implemented in the virtualized environment? Okay, how we can do is in two sort of method. One is in-band method and out-of-band method, which we can see later. By in-band and out-of-band method, we can perform storage virtualization in the virtualized environment. And why it is implemented in the virtualized environment? There are some reasons which are as follows. If this virtualization is present in the IT environment, it will improve the management of the storage, as each and everything will properly store and manage. There won't be any congestion or task to perform. There will be very less downtime as the storage availability is better. All these problems eliminate with the help of an automated management system at one sense. So lot of losses due to data congestion can be reduced. So properly dividing storage and storing data could be useful whenever we are going ahead with this storage virtualization. So these are the features why we are going for storage virtualization. The next one is how we are going to perform storage virtualization. Already we have seen by two means of method. One is in-band and another one is out-of-band. This architecture specifically states how in-band engine and how out-of-band engine will be present. In in-band architecture, there is some sort of discovering and attaching multiple storage targets across SAN. The server now sees only a single storage resource in its path, represented by the virtualization appliances. The in-band engine manages the disparate physical storage devices in the downstream of SAN. But because the virtualization engine in this case presumes to sit directly between servers and storage, it is a potential bottleneck as more servers and storage are added. In-band virtualization may be vulnerable to disruption because in-band appliance now becomes the sole gateway between servers and the storage. Failure of the appliance can result in loss of data access for the entire SAN. A distributed virtualization solution could resolve this problem by allowing multiple appliances to share metadata information and provide failover in the event of disturbances. So performance can be enhanced by incorporating the engine directly with SAN. So it will streamline the ability of any sort of heterogeneous devices. So this is about in-band. Whenever coming to out-of-band architecture, this avoids in-band issues by placing metadata control outside the data transport path. Individual servers, however, must have virtualization software agents installed so that IO requests can be redirected to the out-of-band appliances. Scattering data and control paths separately ensures that virtualization appliances will not act as a bottleneck of data transport, although as with the in-band methods. Loss of the out-of-band appliances itself can still be disruptive. This is going to provide high availability. So in in-band, you will face issues. In out-of-band, you will segregate the data and control paths separately, which will reduce some sort of issues which the in-band is going to have. Learners, do you have any sort of idea about where the storage virtualization could reside inside the virtualized environment? So there are three commonly proposed sites where the virtualization will reside is in the host, in the interconnection path, in the storage target. Each location, host, interconnection path, and storage target, each has its own strength and weakness. Types. Coming to types, there are two types of storage virtualization. One is block, another one is file storage virtualization. When talking about block level storage virtualization is implemented in SAN, and it provides a translation layer in the SAN between host and storage arrays. In this type of block, servers are redirected to virtualized LUNs instead of LUNs on the individual storage array. These virtualized LUNs are on the virtualized disk. So a storage volume can be treated as an individual drive called as block. This gives the server operating system the ability to access the raw storage sections. The storage blocks can be modified by an administrator, adding more capacity whenever and wherever it is necessary, which makes the block transfer fast, flexible, and reliable compared to file. When coming to file, it happens at NAS. Block is happening at SAN. So it will help to solve the problems, NAS problems, by removing the dependencies between the data accessed at the file and the location where the files are physically stored. One benefit of this file is that it is easier to use. Most people are familiar with file because the system navigation is present where knowledge about partitioning is required to create volumes when compared to block. Challenges, coming to challenges of storage virtualization. Virtualization should add value to the existing solution, but introducing virtualization into an environment adds some sort of new challenges named as scalability, functionality, manageability. Scalability, considering the environment, there will be several storage arrays. Each array is having its own demand and it's going to meet its requirement in terms of capacity and input-output requirements. After virtualization, the storage array can be no longer viewed as an individual entry. The environment as a whole must be analyzed. As a result, the infrastructure is implemented both at the physical and virtualization layer as well. Greater care must be exercised while performing this scalability. Then next is functionality. It is another challenge. Storage array provide a wide range of advanced functionality for meeting the application level requirement. This includes replication, extended distance of remote replications, and capability to provide application consistency across volumes and arrays. Then manageability. When coming to manageability, the infrastructure in the virtualized environment is an important consideration. So the virtualized storage environment must be capable of meeting the challenges in terms of tracking, monitoring, reporting, planning, and provisioning the services as per the requirement. So it should have a tool to manage everything end to end in the virtualized environment. So these are the challenges. while coming to summing up all, we have seen what is, why is, how the storage virtualization is implemented. We have seen the benefits. We have seen where it is resided. We have seen the architecture, and we have seen the types. We have seen the difference between file and block level storage. We have seen the challenges. Thank you, learners.
Dear learners, hope week 2's third session had created a vision of storage virtualization and its importance. Thank you, learners.